When one of my clients asks me how to coach employees at work, it's usually because they've come to a painful realization. It's a skill they simply don't have. And that's not an indictment of their talent. In fact, it's the opposite. The skills that got you promoted into leadership are almost always the exact same skills holding you back from actually leading. You became a manager because you were a world-class problem solver. You were the person who could fix anything, and you were rewarded for it. But now you're finding that the more problems you fix, the more problems your team brings to you. So you're asking how to coach because you're exhausted. You're afraid to give them too much freedom, but you're tired of micromanaging every single detail, and you feel like a bottleneck. You realize that doing the work is not the same thing as leading the people who do the work. Now, many managers are stuck in the habit of rescuing. See, when you rescue, you turn your team into doers who can't think for themselves. You aren't being a servant, you're being a hero. And heroes don't build elite teams. Today, I'm going to show you how to coach employees at work using the SoftDeck Principle I learned in the Navy. And this is a diagnostic tool I use with my clients to stop the rescue cycle and change how they think about their role. Now, stay to the end because I'm revealing the specific ownership shift, the one tactical change that allows you to stop being the hero and start being a leader once and for all. In naval aviation, the soft deck is a safety altitude established before a training flight, usually around 5,000 feet. Now, above the soft deck, if a pilot makes a mistake and stalls the aircraft, he has plenty of room to recover safely. But below the soft deck, he risks hitting the ground and becoming a rock's kill. As a leader, your team has a soft deck too. It's based on behavior. Now, above the soft deck, your people have altitude, and that means they have room to maneuver. When they're performing well, you give them freedom to fly by delegating tasks using the mission framework. You allow them the space to make mistakes, and more importantly, the space to recover from them. But if their behavior drops below that soft deck, now they're in the danger zone. And if you don't step in, they'll hit the hard deck. And that's when people crash and burn. When they're below the soft deck, you put them on a tighter lead and you stop delegating with mission framework and start coaching with a drill counseling conversation. Now, you're not micromanaging. You're providing them the necessary limited maneuvering that keeps them from hitting the ground. And this is where many leaders fail when trying to figure out how to coach employees at work. They fall into the servant leadership trap. They think being a servant leader means being a butler for their team's problems. They conflate servant with doing things for. But radical accountability is not about being someone's servant. It's about creating self-actualized team members. And if you're consistently doing for them, you aren't serving them. You're actually handicapping them. By being the fixer, you are inadvertently the source of all the drama in your office. Think about it. Every time you save a team member, you're proving to them they can't save themselves. You think you're being a servant, but you're actually feeding a cycle of dependency. You've trained your team to bring you their problems instead of their solutions. You aren't the solution to the drama. You're the reason it exists. Real coaching is about moving people out of that drama triangle. See, in the dreaded drama triangle, there is the villain, the victim, and the hero. The villain is the problem, the missed deadline, the budget error, the difficult client. And because the villain exists, the employee becomes the victim. They feel powerless. They feel like the situation is happening to them. And then here you come. Da, da, da. You step in as the hero to save the day and fix the problem. And honestly, it feels good. It's an ego boost to be the one with all the answers. But when you play the hero, you validate their status as a victim. You prove to them that they can't handle the villain without you. Now, locked on leaders, they trade that drama for the empowerment dynamic, which is a framework developed by David Emerald. Now, we look at the problem and we stop seeing a villain. Instead, we see a challenger. The challenger is simply some external force asking your employee to get creative. And the moment we reframe that problem as a challenger and step into the role of coach instead of hero, We move the employee from victim to creator. Even if they don't get it immediately, that shift has happened. As the coach, your job then is simple. You guide them through the act of creation. Now, if this shift from hero to coach is hitting home for you, go ahead, hit the like button and subscribe. It helps me reach more leaders who are ready to stop the cycle and start building elite teams. All right, let's look at how we actually execute this shift in the heat of the workday. To move your team from doers to thinkers, you have to follow a very specific progression. And it starts like this. The next time someone brings you a question that they should be able to answer, ask them, what do you think we should do? Now, this forces the victim to get creative by refusing to put on your hero cape. You're now coaching them to see the villain as a challenger instead. After asking the question, stay silent. Don't let them off the hook until they provide an answer, any answer. But once they do, you have to set the mandate. From now on, anytime you feel compelled to come to me with a problem, you must come with a proposed solution. Now you're coaching their thinking. At first, I don't care how well thought out their solution is. If it's only 80%, don't tell them what they missed. Instead, use Socratic questions to help them see it for themselves. Be patient and only give them the answer after it's clear they aren't getting it. Ask things like, how would this impact our Q3 budget? Or what happens if the vendor misses that date? Or just a generic, what could go wrong? This way, you're correcting their reasoning, not just the task itself. And finally, after time and repetition, once you have confidence in their decision making, you hand it off with this two-part ownership shift. This is the reveal I promised you. First, to stop the permission-seeking cycle, you tell them, stop coming to me with problems you know how to fix. Just let me know what you plan on doing, and this way, I'm not blindsided. Now, eventually, when you trust them implicitly, now you change it to, just tell me what you did so I know what's going on in my shop. When you move from what should I do to here's what I did, the speed of your organization is going to explode. You have successfully moved them from victim to creator. Now, I'll be honest with you. This is going to feel uncomfortable at first. It might even slow things down because it's always faster to just give the answer yourself. But this is an investment that pays off in a team that actually owns their results. Think about it this way. How can you ask your team member to do something uncomfortable, like making a high-stakes decision, if you aren't willing to do something uncomfortable, like allowing them to make the high-stakes decision? Your willingness to be uncomfortable is the ceiling for their growth. Building this skill takes repetition, but it's the only way to build a team that functions with pride and precision. Now that you have the coaching mindset, you need the tools to reinforce it. Subscribe to join the movement and receive your leadership tools twice a month. I'll see you at the next briefing.